achieve better results in life, you must also do the SWOT analysis. How many of you have heard about SWOT analysis? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities. You should know your weaknesses. You should scan the environment to know what are the opportunities available and what are the challenges or what are the threats. Pareto's principle. This Pareto principle is very famous. It was originally given by Vilfredo Pareto. He was an Italian economist. He was a civil engineer, he was a mathematician also. So he was doing some research on distribution of wealth amongst the people, citizens of Italy. This was in 19th century, 1800 something. So while doing this research, he found that 80% of the wealth in Italy is concentrated in the hands of 20% of the citizens. Then he further extended its study to other walks of life. For example, he started studying the income of the people of Italy. Then he found that there also this 80-20 principle is applicable. 80% of the income is received by only 20% of the people, and 20% of the income is received by 80% of the people.
80-20 rule. So what I'd like to do today is explain this principle, and as I do that, I'll demonstrate how you could benefit from understanding this vital 80-20 rule. But in 1906, there was an Italian economist, and his name was Vilfredo Pareto, and he created this mathematical formula to describe the unequal distribution of wealth in his country. That's how it began. He noticed that 20% of the people living in Italy owned 80% of the wealth. And so this Pareto principle states that 80% of the results stem from 20% of the causes. And if you think about it, 80% of your sales come from 20% of your products. 80% of your sales come from 20% of your clients. 80% of your profit is generated by 20% of the salespeople within the company. 80% of your output comes from 10% of your time. So I think you can see how this Pareto principle can be applied to almost anything. And you can certainly be the other way around. 20% of the salespeople that work in your company generate 80% of your sales. 20% of your time generates 80% of your output. Now, this Pareto principle should remind you to focus on the 20% that makes the real difference. As I said, 20% makes the real difference. 20% of your time, 20% of your products, 20% of your clients, and so on. So this principle should remind you to focus on the 20% that make the real difference. Focus on the 20% that really matters. Salespeople must identify, and then they should focus on the 20% that is really producing results. If you're running late, or there's just enough time to do, there isn't enough time to do everything in a day, make sure that you focus on the 20% that really matters. That 20% mustn't be left undone. Don't leave the 20% undone, because that is what's generating the bulk of your output or the bulk of your sales. So what you need to do is you need to take a close look at the products and the services you're offering. And you need to ask yourself, which 20% is generating 80% of the profit? Which 20% of my clients are generating 8% of my sales? Which 20% of the sales force is generating 80% of the sales? And when you identify the 20%, focus your time and focus your attention on those products, on those services, on that time. So that's the point of the Pareto principle. Focus on 20% that is generating the most. So again, just ask yourself, which 20% of your customers are generating 8% of your income? And again, when you identify them, be sure to focus your time and your attention on those 20%. Obviously, you cannot leave the rest undone, but be sure to know which 20% is generating 80% of your output, and focus on that 20%, because you'll only generate more. And again, this will help you to prioritize help you to manage your time more effectively. So the fourth operator principle is to remind yourself to daily focus your time, to daily focus your energy on that 20% that matters. The 20% is what is bringing the majority of your results. So cherish that 20%, focus on it, so that you can better manage your resources, so that you can better manage your prospects, your customers, your time, and ultimately increase your productivity and your profits. That's what it's all about.
I hope you have understood the message in this video. The Pareto principle is applicable in all walks of life, whether it is distribution of income, distribution of wealth, or as the video says that 20% of the customers for a business generates 80% of the sales. 20% of the sales is generated by 80% of the customers. Similarly on roads, 80% of the accidents are caused by 20% of the people, and 20% accident is caused by 80% of the people. Right? Similarly, in the offices you will find 80% of the office work is done by only 20% of the people, and 20% work is done by 80% of the people. In all offices you will find some people are very hard working, others are just passing time, they are shirkers. In your wardrobe also you will find 80% of the times you wear only 20% of your clothes, and 80% of the clothes are worn only 20% of the times. So everywhere it is applicable. Similarly in time management also it has this application, that if you apply this rule to your activities, then 80% of your activities what you are doing every day, they produce only 20% of the result, and 20% of the activities produce 80% of the results. So what are those activities which fall in this 20% which are contributing such huge contribution into your life results? 80% of the results are attained by only 20% of the activities. If you are able to identify those 20% activities which are producing 80% results, then you will be able to focus on those 20% activities, and you will start avoiding those 80% activities which are producing only 20% results. Right? So if you make those 20% which produce 80% results, increase them to 25%, 30%. Maybe you surpass your results, surpass your targets, achieve your destinations, your targets much ahead of time. Because the contribution of you will become a super performer. As I told you earlier, we have a matrix which is given by Stephen Covey. One axis we have activities which are important and less important. Other axis we have the urgent and non-urgent activities. So there are 4 quadrants in this matrix. The first quadrant shows you the activities which are important and urgent. There are many activities which are important in your life, and they are also very urgent. Any crisis, suppose there is an accident, somebody got hurt in an accident, you have to rush to the hospital immediately. Right? There are some medical emergencies, some pressing problem is there at home, or you are working in an office. If you are a student, there are certain deadlines for you. You have to submit assignments, you have to appear for certain exams, practicals. So these are activities which are urgent, which are important. So because they are urgent, so they always attract your attention. They always attract your focus. You cannot avoid them. You have to do them. And everybody, whether a person is very smart or is very lazy, he'll have to do it. Right? Normally a normal human being will never avoid these activities. So try to identify all the activities you are doing, which activities fall in the first quadrant, which of your activities. Then comes the second quadrant, activities which are important but which are not urgent. These activities basically pertain to improving your capabilities, appearing in an exam for promotion, doing some course in computers, upgrading your skills, improving your health, improving your relationship with people, which may be vital for your success in life. Relationships also fall in this quadrant, of course. So, this is a quadrant which is not generally given importance by us, because it is not urgent. It is important for your life, but it's not urgent. Now, you may be increasing your weight and you think that you must control the weight, you have to go to gym, or you have to go for a morning walk or start doing yoga, but you keep on postponing. Next month I will join, or next month I will start preparing for the competitive exam. Next month I will join the computer course. You keep on postponing, because even if you do not do these activities, even if you do not go for a morning walk immediately, heaven is not going to fall. So, because the problem is not pressing, so we generally have these activities are very important, and they have a long-term contribution to your, life and career. But still, because they are not urgent, you keep on working. And the third quadrant is the activities which are urgent but they are not important. You receive phone calls from your relatives and friends every day. You receive some emails, or you have to attend certain meetings. You are working in an office, you have to attend some meetings, reply to some mails. These are the routine activities for a person who is working, and even for students there are certain routine activities. Routine activities would include traveling to your college and university, coming back from there. These are the things which are not very important, but they are urgent. You have to. And the last quadrant is which are neither urgent nor important. These are wasteful activities. These are also called time wasters. You can very easily identify those activities: chatting on WhatsApp, reading WhatsApp messages, just roaming in the market. Those activities which fall in second quadrant, they will be producing 80% of your results. So focus on the activities in the second quadrant. To achieve better results in life, you should know your strengths. You should know your weaknesses. You should scan the environment to know what are the opportunities available and what are the challenges or what are the threats.